Well, Team 10 Troubleshooter Cristin Severance goes undercover to put some local shops to the test. Cristin?
We had a mechanic unplug something simple in our undercover car. We went to 6 auto repair shops to see what they would say. Now, only one, here's the invoice right here, tried to charge us hundreds of dollars for new parts. The new Hyundai we used for this story has just 4,000 miles on it and a 100,000-mile warranty. We unplugged the car's oxygen sensor so the engine light was on. Experts say mechanics should tell us to take it to the dealer because the car is under warranty. But what did they say? At Precision Auto in El Cajon, the owner said it was too new to have anything wrong and we should
take it back to the dealer.
At Import Auto Specialists in San Diego, an employee plugged a scanner into the car to check the computer system and run the codes. He told Team 10, take it to the dealer. At Rod's Automotive in El Cajon, they said they'd run a diagnostic test and check it for $75.
It would take a couple hours for them to do it.
At Precision Tuned Auto Care on Midway Drive in San Diego, they said again, take it to the dealer. They checked the engine codes if we wanted for $40.
He did say if I felt uncomfortable driving it, they could do a scan.
And then we went to Sandrock Gas and Auto Repair on Sandrock Road in San Diego. They ushered us into a bay, plugged in a scanner and ran the codes to check the car's computer system. The shop's owner, Lee Asper, said we needed a brand new sensor.
It would cost me $350 for a new part and $235 for an old part.
He gave Team 10 this estimate detailing the cost.
He said if I paid with cash, they would not even charge me tax.
Team 10 went back to Sandrock Auto. You were the only place that tried to charge us $350 for a new part.
Anyhow, I have no idea about why that figure or what's wrong with that car.
Employees said the owner wasn't there, so they called him.
From Channel 10.
The owner never showed up, so we talked to employees who looked at the car that day. You were here when she came in. Video from across the street shows that employee plugging in the scanner.
We have you on video.
We saw you.
I can't remember.
The same thing happened with this mechanic.
Do you remember this car?
No.
Our video shows him standing right next to the car.
He said that she needed a brand new O2 sensor.
I wasn't even here. I didn't work here at the time.
Sandrock Auto Repair was the only shop we went to that said we needed a new part. Now, consumers should really check the BAR, the Bureau of Automotive Repair website, before going to an auto repair shop. I looked up all the shops we went to, and here's their information right here. It's really easy to do.
So with that last shop, did the BAR have any issues with Sandrock Auto?
They did. According to the website, Sandrock is on probation right now for a smog check issue, and we actually did tell the BAR about our investigation.
Interesting. All right. Thank you, Cristin.
Sure.
Okay, so look at these two sets of pills. They look exactly the same, right? The ones on the top, that's real medicine. The ones on the bottom, these are fake. These are counterfeit, and they look exactly the same. I'm told counterfeit drugs are easy to get, they're easy to sell, and they can be really dangerous.
This man is setting up an illegal online pharmacy.
We were up and running in an hour.
No Prescription Drugs has a domain name, Facebook page, Twitter account, and plenty of willing customers.
We got on average about 100 hits a month for each of our different types of online pharmacies. And we were getting roughly 12 to 15 countries.
This is really a graduate student. He's not an online pill peddler. He set up the fake site to study the massive problem of counterfeit drugs. He shows us hundreds of real sites selling fake drugs.
Any drug you can imagine.
Dr. Brian Liang is the grad student's professor. Liang is an expert on counterfeit drugs and the director of the San Diego Center for Patient Safety. He says some people buy fake drugs online thinking they're getting actual medicine for a good deal.
Just because the label says it's the same doesn't mean it is.
Liang said the drugs are made in other countries, in factories that aren't regulated by the FDA or anyone else.
If I don't have to follow laws, things are much cheaper.
He said doctors buy fake drugs too. La Jolla doctor Joel Bernstein pleaded guilty this year to giving the counterfeit cancer drug Mabthera to patients. The criminal complaint said he billed Medicare $1.2 million. He's awaiting sentencing. In this case, the drugs were tested and shown to have the same ingredients as the approved drug. Liang's not buying it.
If it were the same thing, then how come you didn't report this? How come you didn't engage the entire oncology community in San Diego? Oh, I can find a better source, cheaper, better for my patients. It's because you want to make money.
Liang said some of the fake drugs that these doctors prescribe, again, look like the real thing. But on the inside, they contain little or no active ingredients.
You've got breast cancer. Well, you just must have succumbed to the disease. But it's not true. You, in fact, didn't succumb to the disease. You succumbed to the fact that there was no real medicine that you were being provided.
The worst part? Patients can't tell the difference.
They have to go through a laboratory and assess it because this stuff looks perfect.
Liang, former FBI agents and other experts met to try to fight this problem at a conference. Recently, it's held only in San Diego.
So even he says, he's an expert, and he says it looks perfect. So
It does.
any way for the average layman to tell if it's counterfeit?
A lot of the stuff you really just cannot tell, but sometimes if the medicine is simply not working, I'm told you may want to start asking some questions. And I listed some other red flags on 10news.com.
Okay, great advice. Thank you, Chris.
Sure. Now, the rules that are being revised are from the 70s. So if you lift up your couch cushion right now, you'll see this. Technical Bulletin 117. I got this from the break room. Now, I'm told that this bulletin is to blame for all of those chemicals that are in your couch.
There we go.
San Diego firefighters set this mock living room on fire. In minutes, it goes from a small flame to billowing smoke. Then it's so thick we have to move our cameras back.
Everything you saw coming out in the dark smoke, that's where you're going to see the chemicals.
Research by Duke University and UC Berkeley shows those chemicals come from flame retardant sprayed on all furniture in California since 1975. Chemicals linked to cancer, hormone disruption, and reproductive toxicity. This is a piece of foam inside the couch that was sprayed with a flame retardant. Many people say not only does it not work, but it's dangerous for firefighters or anyone else breathing it in.
We've got a major toxic problem that we're encountering.
California firefighter Tony Stefani was captain of his rescue squad in San Francisco until he found out he had cancer, a cancer found mostly in people who work in the chemical industry. He remembers this conversation with his doctor.
I told him I was a fireman, and he looked at me and smiled, and he said, "You might not realize it, but you do work in the chemical industry."
Stefani has testified in front of a Senate subcommittee about chemicals in couches and his health problems. After years of fighting from Stefani and others, a breakthrough. Governor Jerry Brown called for an overhaul of Technical Bulletin 117. It requires the foam in furniture to withstand an open flame for 12 seconds. It's the reason manufacturers pump pounds of chemicals in upholstery foam. The chemicals stop the foam from quickly catching on fire, but critics say hardly any fires start that way. Governor Brown made his recommendation in June of last year, so Team 10 had to ask, what's taking so long?
It's not taking so long, as you say, so much as it is the regular course of regulatory packages. Regulations don't happen overnight. In fact, this is still moving pretty fast.
Not fast enough for Stefani, who worries once it passes, what about all the couches still out there, like the one you're sitting on right now?
This is going to be with us probably for the rest of our lives.
Councilwoman Marty Emerald is taking a special interest in our story. You can read about what she wants done on 10news.com. Also, we should get a first look at those new draft regulations on Friday. I'm Team 10 Troubleshooter Cristin Severance.